I did hear something.
This ice. Oh, this classroom's awesome.
No way. You're kidding me.
Abandoned buildings always carry a certain pull. The crumbling walls, the silence, the long-forgotten objects. They all whisper of lives once lived. But sometimes these places don't just feel empty, they feel watched. And it's in those moments when the air shifts and your gut twists that the true horror of exploring the forgotten becomes clear. Tonight, we'll be stepping into 5 shocking discoveries that prove not every ruin is silent and not every shadow is harmless. Let's jump in. Before we start, a quick reminder. Most of you watching haven't hit that subscribe button yet. If you enjoy these unsettling deep dives into the unknown, subscribing ensures you'll never miss what comes next.
I have never been to this school before. I know about it. I think my mom actually went here, but I've never actually been to the school before. I don't think there's gonna be too much difficulty getting in. You know how large the school is? It's a restroom. Completely stripped. Dining room B. So apparently they had multiple lunch rooms. Apparently there was a fire or someone set it on fire. There's no point in that happening. That graduated from Cooley, ironically enough. When they break these windows, it just lets in cold air, and then it winds up becoming a lot colder within the building than it is outside, because you don't have any sun. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, I am completely turned around. I know that's not hard for you guys to believe. And we'll just continue to get lost. You know, I've learned to embrace being lost. What is this? And there's less of a possibility of something happening to me. Also, what's awesome about going upstairs a lot of times is that you get a lot more natural light. What is that noise? Who was that? What you doing in here?
I see people coming in here.
What you mean you seen people come in here?
They be taking pictures and doing all that other stuff in here.
I knew I heard something.
Okay.
What's going on, man?
You alright?
Been in here before?
I've seen people just be coming in here taking pictures, and I see, you know. So I just come and they do graffiti.
So I ain't got nothing to worry about, right?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Gerald.
Just keep a lookout for me.
Okay.
I don't want nobody running up on me.
Okay. Well,
So apparently you live around here, right?
yes, they're right across the street.
So tell me a little bit about this place. It's nothing like having a personal tour guide.
When I came here,
This is crazy.
when they first started, right?
It's nothing left but the metal from the chairs.
Listen, wasn't nothing wrong with this auditorium.
Look at the
The
ceilings.
fire came, they set it on fire, it burnt up everything.
I see.
Anton Daniels, the creator behind his self-titled YouTube channel, has built a loyal following by uncovering the hidden stories behind abandoned landmarks. His explorations aren't just about peeling paint and broken glass. They're about piecing together the lives that once filled these silent spaces. But during one winter visit to Thomas M. Cooley High School in Detroit, he stumbled into something that reminded him how unpredictable and unnerving these explorations can truly become. The building itself is massive, a sprawling complex once alive with students, teachers, and laughter, now reduced to stripped hallways and vandalized classrooms, lockers thrown from their hinges, windows shattered, fires scorched across old dining halls. For Anton, this was supposed to be another dive into Detroit's forgotten history. But as soon as he arrived, the building had other plans. Before he even crossed the threshold, faint noises echoed through the air. Not the usual drip of water or rattle of loose metal, something heavier, closer. He brushed it off at first, blaming the wind or maybe an animal. Still, curiosity quickly gave way to unease. Inside, the building felt alive in all the wrong ways. Every step on the cracked tiles was met with silence that seemed too thick, too intentional. He passed through the principal's trashed office, scattered medical supplies in the nurse's wing, and even a cafeteria blackened by fire. The deeper he went, the more oppressive the cold became. With windows smashed out, the icy air filled every corridor, chilling him to the bone. And somewhere between those empty hallways, Anton realized he was completely lost. That's when it happened again. Another noise, this time louder, distinct, definitely not the building settling. The sound bounced off the walls, too close for comfort. His breath caught. For a moment he froze, straining to hear what was moving in the distance. Then a shadow. Out of nowhere, a man appeared. Anton's camera shook as the stranger stepped into view. It wasn't a ghost or a trick of the mind. This was another person lurking in the very same abandoned school. The initial shock hit hard. Who was he? Why was he there? Was this encounter about to turn dangerous? The man introduced himself as a local who frequently came into the school. He claimed he'd seen others wander through to take photos, to explore, to graffiti the walls. His explanation was casual, but the tension in the room didn't vanish. In a place this isolated, one wrong assumption could turn terrifying fast. But instead of hostility, the encounter took a strange turn. The man decided to guide Anton deeper into the ruins, leading him through charred auditoriums and warped gym floors. He pointed out where fires had gutted the building, how vandals had stripped it bare, and how the community had watched its slow decay over the years. In the end, what began as a terrifying possibility of danger became something else entirely. A sobering reminder that in these forgotten places, it's often the living, not the supernatural, that you have to watch out for.
Tonight, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, exploring an abandoned school named Audubon Junior High. This historic school was built in 1922 by architect Walter McCormick, who went on to construct many of the opulent schools built in Cleveland at the time.
Somebody's down there. Wait a minute. This wasn't like this before. Hello? I can't remember if this was like this before or not. I could have sworn it wasn't like that before, though. That is weird. That's actually kind of creepy to see. Written down. There's like blood on the floor. Oh shit, there's a bunch. Look at this. There's a trail of blood. Somebody's in there.
Cleveland, Ohio is no stranger to history, but one particular school has earned a reputation for something darker. Audubon Junior High, built in 1922, once stood as a symbol of architectural pride. Today, it's a ruin, its silence pierced only by the memories of tragedy. Urban explorer Beck from the channel Herbeck's Hill decided to uncover its secrets. But what he found inside went far beyond collapsing ceilings and dusty hallways. Only months before his visit, the school had made headlines when a teenager lost his life on its steps. No answers ever came, no suspect, no justice. That unsolved story hung heavy over the exploration. giving every creak of the building an edge. Inside, Beck immediately noticed something was off. A thin rope dangled from the ceiling, leading into darkness. He swore it hadn't been there on his last visit. It looked recent, deliberate. "Somebody's down there," he muttered under his breath, unsure whether he wanted to believe it. The silence pressed in. No reply, no movement. Yet the atmosphere shifted, as though unseen eyes were tracking his every step. The further he pushed, the stranger it got. A door he remembered being locked now stood cracked open. Another hallway reeked of something foul, a sharp chemical smell that didn't belong in a place left for dead decades ago. He couldn't shake the suspicion that he wasn't alone. Then came the most unnerving discovery. In the middle of a hallway, a single plant had sprouted straight through the cracked flooring. A sign of life in a place defined by decay. It was wrong, surreal, like the building itself was trying to reclaim something it had lost. Deeper in, Beck's curiosity nearly became his downfall. He wandered into the gym only to find himself trapped inside a bathroom with no handle on the inside. Panic set in fast. The echo of his breathing filled the tight space. Was this an accident? Or had someone set it up this way? For a few heart-pounding moments, he fought the door, finally prying it open from the bottom. Relief hit, but the fear didn't fade. That's when the discoveries turned darker. In the basement, streaks of what looked disturbingly like blood trailed across the floor. He followed the path with his camera, his voice tight. The trail ended near a cluster of bullet casings. This wasn't graffiti or vandalism. This was evidence of violence. And then, as if on cue, his camera cut out. Dead screen. The worst possible timing. He restarted it immediately, but by then the tension had reached its peak. With the school's history of violence and the unmistakable signs of danger all around, Beck made the smartest choice he could. He got out. Just before leaving, one last sound echoed behind him. A voice? A footstep? It was impossible to tell. But one thing was certain, he hadn't been alone. The Audubon Junior High remains a mystery. Was the blood real? Did the casings tell the story of something sinister hidden inside its walls? Or was there still someone lurking in the shadows? Beck never stayed to find out.
Alright, we just got inside. And I realized I forgot my light panel. So I'm probably going to be following this guy around for a little bit. Hopefully on the second and third floors it's a little bit brighter, but we will find out.
Yeah, I better not have forgotten mine.
It's a fully stocked bookshelf of more textbooks.
It hasn't been burned, but there's one sketchy thing right now that makes me really uneasy. Is the extensive water damage to the roof. You can see it just stuck pouring in right now.
So I just found a locked door, and Dan said that there's some books in there, and I looked in, and there's textbooks, and there's trophies up on that shelf still. So I don't think anybody's gotten in here, or at least gotten in here and destroyed stuff. So I'm gonna crawl through this hole and see what I can find. Alright guys, this room is nuts. There's trophies, plaques, got a nice computer set up. Some more trophies. Tons of photos, probably of more alumni. This is a pretty dang cool time capsule room.
Oh, this classroom's awesome.
No way. You're kidding me. This is what we like to see, guys. All the desks still here. Look at this waterfall. And all these books and stuff are coated in ice. Look at this. That is like a...
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Love those orange chairs. So there's a homeless guy in that room. And I almost opened the door. It's so sketchy. Close. I don't think I've ever really encountered a homeless person. It's so unfortunate they have to resort to living in a place like this. He had all his stuff set up. He was just sitting. And you could see on the window there was some of the books, some pages from the books that he had pasted to keep a little bit of privacy in there. It did. Wow. Check that out. All that wood is charred. This whole entire... Somebody must have set the fire here. If you guys can see in the locker room. Oh, with all the paper. Oh no, this isn't a locker room. This is more textbook storage. I guess they set it all on fire.
For many explorers, the thrill of abandoned places comes from finding what others missed. Rooms sealed off, objects left behind, secrets tucked away in the dust. For Lord Explorers and his friend Dan, that thrill nearly turned into something far more unnerving. The pair set out to document a crumbling school, a massive structure already weakened by years of water damage. The roof leaked like a sieve, with streams of water cutting through classrooms and pooling on warped wooden floors. Darkness swallowed most of the halls, and with one of them forgetting a light panel, every step felt more precarious than the last. Then they found it, a locked door. At first, nothing unusual, but peering through a crack, they caught a glimpse of something astonishing. Shelves filled with untouched textbooks, old plaques and trophies still gleaming. A time capsule hidden in plain sight. Determined to get inside, Lord squeezed through a narrow, dust-choked opening. What waited beyond looked frozen in time. Photographs of teachers and alumni, awards stacked neatly, even decades-old computers. Somehow vandals had never reached this room. In a building collapsing under its own weight, here was a perfectly preserved piece of the past. But the deeper they went, the stranger it became. One classroom had been transformed into something otherworldly. Waterfalls of frozen ice cascading across chairs and desks, layers an inch thick. Books trapped under glassy sheets. It was eerie beauty, haunting but impossible to look away. Then came the moment that shattered any sense of wonder. Peering into another room, Lord froze. Behind a window covered in torn book pages, movement stirred. Not an animal, not a shadow. A man. Someone had made the abandoned school their home. A homeless individual had tucked himself away, using paper as curtains to shield his space. Lord realized he had been seconds away from opening the door and walking straight inside. The tension was instant. In places like this, you don't know what someone might do to protect the little privacy they have left. Quietly, the two explorers backed away, shaken but unharmed. Still, the building wasn't done with them. Burned-out locker rooms showed signs of a serious blaze. Charred beams dangled dangerously overhead, collapsed ducts littering the ground. In another room, a strange doll, stitched crudely together resembling a voodoo figure, sat forgotten among broken cooking supplies. And just when they thought the worst was behind them, the final shock waited outside. An ambulance, parked near the building's exit. No sirens, no flashing lights. Just sitting there, watching. Neither Lord nor Dan could figure out why it was there or who it belonged to. But after everything they'd seen inside, fire damage, strange objects, and the unexpected resident, the presence of that ambulance was the last thing they wanted to question. They left immediately, carrying with them the knowledge that some mysteries are better left unsolved. The hidden room had offered them a glimpse of history, but the stranger in the shadows and the eerie arrival outside reminded them of the truth. Abandoned doesn't always mean empty. Not every haunted discovery hides in a school. Some are wrapped in stained glass and steeples. Deep in the Midwest, a once grand church now stands gutted and forgotten. Its pews long empty, but its presence far from gone. Urban explorer Night Atlas set out to capture its architecture. Soaring ceilings, murals flaking like old paint on parchment. What he didn't expect was how alive the silence would feel. The building groaned as if it breathed. Wind hissed through shattered windows, carrying a low hum that sounded almost like a voice. Just air currents, he told himself, but the sound never quite matched the rhythm of the breeze. Moving deeper, Night Atlas found relics of hurried abandonment. Bibles scattered across the floor, candles still blackened from their last flame. In the choir loft, hymnals lay open as if a congregation had simply vanished mid-song. The deeper he climbed, the more the temperature dropped, until his own breath fogged thickly in front of him. Then came the knock. A sharp, deliberate rap on wood echoed from somewhere near the pulpit. Not the creak of settling boards. This was crisp and timed like knuckles on a door. He called out. No answer. Another knock followed, closer. Heart pounding, he scanned the nave with his flashlight. Rows of broken pews stared back, empty. No footprints in the fresh dust. Still something was moving. In the basement, he found signs of recent life. A small circle of melted candle stubs, burnt incense, and strange chalk markings on the stone floor. Whatever ceremony had taken place, it wasn't part of any Sunday service. A sudden clang above made him jolt. Someone or something was definitely with him. He killed his light and listened. The sound of footsteps drifted down the stairwell, slow and measured. Whoever it was knew he was there. Night Atlas weighed his options. Stay and confront an unknown presence in a half-collapsed church, or slip out before curiosity turned dangerous. The next sound made his decision for him, a whisper. Too faint to make out but undeniably human, sliding through the cold air like smoke. He bolted. Outside, the night felt almost warm compared to the chill inside. When he looked back, a faint glow flickered behind one of the upper stained glass windows, as if someone had lit a candle the moment he left. To this day, the old church keeps its secrets. Was it squatters performing rituals? A hidden worshiper guarding sacred ground? Or something less earthly, drawn to the echoes of faith long abandoned? One thing's certain. Night Atlas walked in expecting empty pews and quiet beauty. What he found was a place that refused to stay silent. Proof that not all forgotten sanctuaries are truly deserted. Factories are supposed to be dead when the machines stop, but some buildings never really power down. They just wait. Urban adventurer Steel Lens discovered that firsthand when he stepped inside an enormous, long-abandoned auto plant on the edge of Chicago. The building stretched for blocks, a steel giant gone cold. At least that's what he thought. From the start, the place felt off. The echo of his boots came back warped, like the walls were answering. Massive conveyor belts hung frozen mid-motion, rusted but eerily poised. A single desk lamp sat on a workbench, still plugged in, its cord trailing across the floor like a black snake. There was no electricity running to the plant. As he moved deeper, he passed rooms filled with forgotten blueprints and half-assembled machine parts, evidence of workers who seemed to have vanished in the middle of a shift. Then came the sound that turned curiosity into dread. A steady, rhythmic thump, not random creaks, not wind, a perfect mechanical beat. He followed it through dark corridors until he reached the old power station. There, deep in the heart of the factory, he found a massive press machine that looked like it hadn't moved in decades. Yet the sound came from right beneath it, like a giant metallic heartbeat. Every instinct screamed to leave, but he leaned closer, shining his flashlight into the gaps in the machinery. The beam caught something unexpected, fresh footprints on the oily floor, small and recent. Someone else was inside. Then the noise stopped. Total silence swallowed the room. No echo, no heartbeat, only the hollow rush of his own breathing. He spun around, half expecting to see someone standing behind him. Nothing. Pushing forward, Steel Lens entered an assembly hall lined with shadowy catwalks. That's when a heavy object clattered to the ground from somewhere above, metal against metal, ringing through the dark like a warning shot. He scanned the catwalks. Empty, or so it seemed. As he prepared to leave, a faint electrical hum rose behind him. The machine that had gone silent moments earlier clicked to life. Lights flickered across the press, glowing for the first time in decades. A single red indicator bulb pulsed like a heartbeat. He didn't wait for a second sign. Racing back through the echoing halls, he could swear he heard footsteps matching his own, never gaining, never fading, just there. When he finally burst into the cold night air, the plant looked as lifeless as when he'd arrived. No lights, no sound, just a black silhouette against the Chicago skyline. To this day, no one can explain what powered those machines or who left the fresh footprints deep inside. Was someone secretly living there using hidden power lines? Or was the factory itself holding on to a strange mechanical afterlife,